Hi guys. So welcome to another bonus video of more sheathing the walls. I'm late today, but hey, this is a bonus video and my wife's home, so just got a few things to take care of before I actually start doing the sheathing. My wife came back from Florida, and she brought back a bunch of the curios that her grandmother had collected over the decades, and one of them, the poor dog here, lost his head, so I'm going to crazy glue that back on for her. And I'm going to do that before I start sheathing so that I can cut that out of the time-lapse video, because I don't think you need to see me doing that in a time-lapse video. And I can turn this on, get it warming up. We are at 40 hours. I did a little bit more work, and we're at 40 hours of work on this. I probably got about 28 of that on video. But it's starting to come together. I'm pretty good up to about here. I still have to do the inside of these ones here, but I can do that later. I might do the, yeah, I'll do this spot here, and then I'll do this here and down here, and then I'll flip the whole thing around and come at it from the other side. Oh, I gotta put my apron on too. My wife would kill me if I got glue on my Flash t-shirt, because Flash makes me fast. That doesn't look weird or nothing now, does it? Oh, glasses. I lost a pair of glasses last night. My wife and I went to see Minions, so you can expect to see a Darth Tigger's Totally Biased review on Minions coming up. And each episode is getting better. I'm thinking about what I've done and what I've done wrong and what I can do better and how I can help you guys more. And every time you watch a new episode, it will get better. Now I squished the dog's head on. Yeah, she lost some little pieces. It's interesting, actually. Might even be able to fix this so you can't tell. This dog has a cracked finish on it already. And even though there's some red showing through here, if I took a little bit of time and patience and painted that gray and whitish, I guess, you might not be able to see it at all. Then again, I mean, if you put it like from this angle, you can't tell at all. In fact, I will leave him right there like that. Ta-da! He will be my mascot. So I've done a couple of things. Actually, you know what else I got to do is I got to look to see if I got some more Velcro. I have a Lumia 1520 phone, and it's wonderful for me because it's got this large screen, and I really love a large screen. I like to watch videos and play games and stuff like that on my phone. Plus, it's got a 20 megapixel camera in it, and it's got a pretty good video camera. And actually, I record, there are only two cameras that I record my videos on. It's this one and the webcam that you see there. That webcam's only 720p. I've got another webcam up in my office. If it's 240, that's all it is. So I tend not to use that one too much. Maybe unless if I'm playing games and live streaming games, I'll use that and put myself in the corner kind of thing. But I do all of my other videos on this, and normally it comes out in 1080p, and it's pretty good. But there have been a few problems with it. One of the problems being this case, because if I don't hold it correctly, the case will flop around, and this hole in it will actually obscure the lens. So one of the things I want to do is just put a couple of small pieces of Velcro on this just to hold it in place when I'm videoing. Because if you watched my very first Totally Biased review, and what I'll do is I'll try to put a link down in this description. I'll try to remember to put a link down in the description to my Totally Biased review. If you've watched those, you'll see I made a pretty big mistake on my first Totally Biased review. I'm just looking for my Velcro here. My wife says it's in here somewhere. I'm not. Oh, I might have found it. I might have found it. Well, that's. Oh, I could do that. So 3M dual lock Velcro, whereas most Velcro will have a hook side and a fabric side, this doesn't. This just has two hook sides. And that might actually be able to work. Oh, I should put the cap back on this before it, of course, there's not a lot of glue left in this particular one, but so what I want to do, I'll show you after the mistake that I made with my first Totally Biased review. So what I have to do is I have to start up the video, and then I have to turn the camera around, and I have to hold it by its edges, because if I touch anything on the screen, it'll actually start zooming in and stuff. And that's exactly what happened on the first Totally Biased review. And I sometimes shut off the recording, and I don't notice it. Or if I don't hold this well, it kind of flops out a little bit, and then I get like those black lines around it. So I'm trying to do what I can to make sure that that doesn't happen. And I've done two different things. Well, I'm doing one right now. This is one of the things I'm doing. I'll show you this, and then I'll show you the other thing that I'm doing. See, look at that. Not only do you get popsicle stick mansion building, but you get tips on what not to do from a guy who's done it wrong. Ulysses, hi. How you doing, buddy? Glad to have you back. I missed you last couple of days, really. There have been people each day taking up the slack for you, though, pal. We actually had Shannon from the Gold Coast of Australia talking with us the other day. That was a lot of fun. But what would even be more cool is to get everybody talking at the same time and talking with each other and creating a community. Huh? I'm thinking. Hey, listen, do me a favor. If the background noise out there gets too bad, let me know, and I will close the garage door if I have to. I will suffer for my art. I keep the door open so I get airflow in here because it gets hot under these lights pretty quick. I am the epitome of doing YouTube on a budget. The camera I'm using now is like a $75 Logitech thing. Quick story. On Thursday, I went to the office, and at one point, I went to make a hot tea and spilled the really hot water on my hand. We had a first aid kit, so I took care of my hand. Went to get back to work, and my keyboard wasn't working. Then I fixed that. You had a bad day on Thursday. Holy crap. Then I got home and went to watch your stream, and my internet wasn't working. Oh my. You can't win for losing, man. Well, I gotta say, if you have to have a reason for missing my stream, that's a good set of reasons. How's your hand? Is it good? Are you better? I burn myself a lot, so I know how much it can hurt to burn yourself. If there's a good reason to miss my stream, that's a good reason. All righty. So let's see if that works. Let's just do a quick test here. It's all right, a little red where the majority of the water is splashed. Ow. Yeah, when I was growing up, hello. There we go. When I was growing up, I burned myself a lot. So I am no stranger to burning myself. I got so many scars from burning. It's really gone away here, thank God. But there's a big round scar right here from when I was grade 5, I think. I had a lamp in my bedroom that didn't have a lampshade on it, and I was stretching, and I put my hand right on the hot bulb, and that like hurt a lot. I've got more grease burns all over me, and now I got more frickin' burns here. I actually blistered myself the other day here. So I'm a little tolerant to burning now, thank God. Okay, so look at that, huh? This is the first thing. So now that'll stay, and there's no black edges around. Now, that's one thing that I've done. Then the other thing that I did, I don't know how well this is going to work yet, but so this is a clamp that I bought, actually my father-in-law bought for me at Harbor Freight. Years ago. I do a lot of woodworking. I got a whole bunch of clamps over there. But what happens is this will get to a certain amount of clamping pressure, and then it'll just start ratcheting itself back off. So it doesn't really work all that well. So what I'm thinking of doing is this. Look at it. So I hot glued EVA foam. I use EVA foam a lot in the costume building that I do. So I hot glued the EVA foam on here, and then if I do this, oops, hold on. Got to get it just right in the center. There we go. See, now I don't have to touch the whole thing. So I can start it. I can flip it around. And I can use it. See, now I got no chance of touching this thing and zooming in like I did last time, which really kind of bummed me out, I'll be honest. So hopefully that for me. You know what though? I think I want to put it on the other side because that crossing is a little too, it doesn't work well for me. Let's try the other side. There we go. DIY selfie stick. Isn't that cool? And hopefully the added weight will help me with the shake a little bit. I do have, I wonder if I've got it out here. Let me see if I can find it. Let me turn this off first. I'll see if I can find, I actually have, I made a DIY Steadicam years ago, a Steadicam mount years ago. And I had it here somewhere recently. I know I did. I'll have to find it for you. I'm not sure where it is right now. Not quite sure where I put it. I took a hockey puck and a couple of pieces of PVC pipe, and I actually made a three-way gimbal, and then put the camera mount above that, and then put a long pole below it with a stick off the side with weights on either side. So it's a self-balancing Steadicam. I have a few scars thanks to being with stupid brothers. Yeah, I had a stupid brother too. He didn't, he and I got into fights a lot, and he beat me up a lot until I was 16. He's a year older than me. And then I decided I had had enough, and I went after him with a broom one day, or a broom handle one day. And that was shortly before I left my mother's house and moved in with my father. I had an eventful childhood. I actually come from, well, an interesting background, generally really poor. My mother was a optician who tried to get her own business running, but it didn't work out for her. And we pretty much had nothing until I was 16. Well, I mean, she pretty much had nothing her entire life. And then I moved in with my dad. My dad was a successful master electrician, very successful. And that's about the last time I ever spoke to my brother, too. Alrighty, so we're going to start doing the inside of this wall here, I think, now. And I'm going to shave that down a little bit, I think, yeah. So yeah, my wife and I went to see Minions, and I'll put out a review for that hopefully tomorrow. I still have some work to do on that one. I'm trying to make the production quality better every time. Trying to make the script better every time. I'm just trying to make everything better every time. Learn from your mistakes, kind of thing, you know. All right. One time, my older brother and I, he was about 8, I was about 6, we had recently started playing Mortal Kombat. Oh no, this is not going to end well. Mrs. Darth Tigger, or more correctly, Darth Tink. Okay. Apparently she's going for a walk, so you won't see her. She's a little more camera shy than I am.
Not camera shy.
Did you hear that? We had recently started playing Mortal Kombat and had decided it would be a good idea to play fight on the couch. Yeah, this is going to end well. Well, he ended up knocking me off the couch, and my head hit the corner of the coffee table, and that's how I cracked my skull. Ow! Man, that hurts. That hurts just looking at it. Yeah, my brother did a lot of bad things to me when I was a kid. To be, totally fair and I wasn't probably as self-aware back then as I am now, but I probably did bad things to him too. I just don't remember it.
Damn right you did.
That's my wife supporting me all the time.
Good thing you're cute.
Love you too, honey. Ulysses was just telling me how he cracked his skull. Ulysses Wolfgang was telling me how he cracked his skull.
You dried okay? I'm still drying.
Still drying, yeah. I was saying, with the cracked finishes on that now and a little bit of work, I could probably make that line disappear.
I'm not worried about it.
But if you look at it from the front, you can't tell.
Okay. It's sentimentally valuable, not monetarily valuable.
Right. Keeping all this stuff organized is difficult. You walk in here, or you going to the dog park?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I just asked her if she wanted to go for a walk because it's a beautiful, beautiful day here in Seattle.
It is. It's absolutely gorgeous here in Seattle. Have you guys seen Brody before? I remember they came over once. Did Brody actually get on camera?
It's just Via. No Brody.
No Brody? Aw.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Tell her my viewers are disappointed. They wanted to see Brody.
I'm just waving.
No one wants to see me. They want to see Brody.
Oh, I'm sorry. Brody's taking a nap. It's hot.
Oh, okay.
I like the house so far. I'm just gonna move right in. All right, we'll see you later.
See ya. Have fun.
You're gonna leave this here. Okay. So don't knock it over.
Doing this way, I realize a lot of the mistakes I'm making that have made my life more difficult. One of them being putting all the walls up the way I did. Getting into these tight spots to sheath them is actually quite difficult. So if I ever do another one of these, I think I will start at one end and do all of the walls. Put them up and sheathe them as I'm coming down the line kind of thing, so that I don't have as much of a difficulty in getting the wall sheathed. Well, that didn't work. Crap. Arrgh. You know what? I think that whole thing is coming off. Get off. I'll put it back on later. What I'm going to do is I'll pull those popsicle sticks up, or maybe even I won't. I'll sheathe both sides of it, and then I'll glue it back down, because that's just been in the way since I put it there. So what I tried to do here was this popsicle stick was just a tiny bit longer than the last one I put on. So my cuts didn't line up correctly, and I tried to force it into position, and I was dumb. So I'm just going to put this back, and then I'm going to cut the other one so that it's you know the other thing it's doing. Son of a... Oh, it's going to be one of those days. Let's try this again. At some point, I'm going to get this right. Good thing it's on the inside of the walls, so I can hide my mistakes. I gotta say, this is fairly difficult, all things considered. Should be good. So Ulysses, have you gone to see any movies lately? Pixels, for example, or do you think you'd like that one? You watched a few on Netflix. What'd you watch? I don't really like Adam Sandler. Yeah, I don't really like Adam Sandler either. I think, well, I like Pixels, but, and I have this vague recollection that I've liked one other thing that he's done, but for the life of me right now, I can't remember what it was. I watched a weird, depressing comedy, The Skeleton Twins. A depressing comedy. Now that's an interesting genre. You just you put that into the search function in Netflix. Find me a depressing comedy. There's your claim to fame. I'm a depressing comedy. And a Japanese Hunger Games-ish movie called Battle Royale. Interesting. Have you actually on the Hunger Games-ish style stuff? Have you seen Maze Runner? Oh, I should ask though. How'd you like the two movies? Were they good? I don't think I'd ever watch a depressing comedy. I mean, I've heard of black comedy before, meaning comedy that deals with death, but not a depressing comedy. It popped up as recently added, and I recognized the 2 stars, so I decided to watch it. Who was in it? I watched one on Netflix. They were both really good. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I just don't know that I could get past the depressing comedy thing. And that would be one of my biases. Nah, nah, nah. I watched one time. Have you ever seen Snowpiercer? It in Wig and Bill Hader. I don't recognize the names. Actually, to be honest, I should probably do a totally biased review on Snowpiercer. One of the things I worry about with the totally biased reviews is that I have a tendency to only go see things that I like. So by definition, what will end up happening is I will like all of the reviews, or like, all of my reviews will be positive reviews, which quite frankly is fine. But then you get the reputation for liking everything. I also saw a Korean kung fu thriller mystery, Old Boy, and I was actually disgusted by the movie after it finished. Yeah, that's kind of like a train wreck kind of thing. I almost want to ask you what made you disgusted, but I'm pretty sure I don't want to know. I haven't seen Snowpiercer. It's on my list of movies to watch. Okay, so here's where I can help you. I don't know if you like the same kinds of movies that I like or not, but in my opinion, Snowpiercer was a dog. I hated that movie. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's getting up there close. Wow. How do I say this, especially without being too spoilery? So it was Chris, the guy who plays Captain America. What's his name? Chris, not Hemsworth, the other one. It's not Pine. Anyway, it was Captain America with a beard. And Old Boy had some gruesome scenes, and the plot twist mystery was really gross. Yeah, I would absolutely hate that. And thank you for telling me. I will not ever see that. So, the guy, you remember the old Mac versus PC commercials? Or no, sorry, no, that's not it. That's not the same guy, but he looks like him. Have you seen the TV show The Musketeers? The new TV show. It's only like 2 seasons out right now. The Musketeers. Chris Evans? Yeah, it might be. Yeah, it's probably Chris Evans. You're probably right. So the guy from that plays D'Artagnan in The Musketeers was in Snowpiercer with Chris Evans. And the premise of this movie is that some sort of they never exactly say what caused this. I surmise that it was some sort of a nuclear holocaust. But they're basically in the midst of some kind of an ice age. And they all live on this train that circles the globe. Well, actually, I'm not sure it's the globe, but it's got this big route that it circles, and it takes, well, I mean, they intimate that it takes a year for it to make one rotation. It might not take a year, but one rotation of this train becomes their year. And it's essentially a class system on this train. So that the better off you are, the higher class you are, the closer to the front of the train you are. And the closer to the back of the train that you are, you get treated worse and worse and worse. And the people at the very back of the train are basically indentured slaves. And treated as poorly as you can treat anybody in every single sense of the word. And they have a lot of premises in this movie that I just cannot abide by. one of them being cannibalism. Another one being if you do something that the people at the front of the train don't like, they bring soldiers back, and in order to punish you, they off on camera, and none of this is entertainment to me. And there's plot twists, and in the end, I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but oh, we lost video again. Yay. I don't know what's going on. Snowpiercer is a really depressing movie. So I would not recommend it. If you like movies where you don't get a happy ending, you'll like this movie. If you don't mind, you know, some gory bits and some disgusting bits, you'll be okay with this movie. I don't like gory. I don't like disgusting. I don't like the whole premise of the damn movie, I'll be honest. I mean, everyone's seen, we've all seen similar kinds of premises before. You know, Hunger Games has a sort of a similar kind of premise of a class system and people being downtrodden and all that stuff. But these guys get very graphic in it. And now, just not me. It's weird because one of my friends recommended it to me. I guess I'll have to check it out. Yeah, you know, in fact, I'd be very interested. If you check it out, I would be very interested in what your opinion is of it. And as I said before, you know, as a kind of a product of the Totally Biased Reviews, that will help inform future conversations, because just because you and I like different things does not mean our opinions can't help inform each other, as long as we know that we like different things. See, I are smart. Actually, I would be very, very interested in hearing your critique of it, because I was almost sick to my stomach after I watched it. Just be prepared for that. And it's, you know, it's like I say all the time, if you go into something with the right expectations and you get what you're expecting, you're more likely to like it. So hopefully, even by the fact that I tell you to expect these kinds of things, it will help you enjoy it. I will be so glad when I'm not doing these inside walls anymore. Also watched the movie Juice. That was a good movie. Tell me about Juice. I don't even think I've heard of that one. Although, no, the name seems to ring a bell, but I'm blanking on what it was. No, I didn't do that well. No, what was it? My older brother told me Old Boy was an intense fighting movie. There were maybe 2 or 3 fight scenes in the movie. Well, then I guess you learned not to trust your older brother. Trust me instead. I'll never steer you wrong. Even though I haven't seen Old Boy. Juice is about 4 inner city teens who get caught up in the pursuit of power and happiness, which they refer to as the juice. Tupac is one of the stars in the movie. I may have seen a trailer for that. That's ringing a bell somewhere. Oh, hey, have you seen the Deus Ex like 10-minute movie, live action movie? I saw that yesterday. If you haven't seen that, go look it up and watch it right now. I'll wait the 10 minutes for you to come back. I also saw a 30-minute E3 gameplay preview kind of a thing. I am definitely getting Deus Ex when it comes out. 100%. I test fit that. It worked. Was it on Machinima? No, it might have been. I'm not sure. I got it from YouTube, though. I just searched it. Actually, it came up in my list of things to watch on YouTube. In fact, I can check my YouTube history and find out what it's called if you want. Actually, that brings up another good question. Did you play Ghost Recon Future Soldier? Or see the trailers for it? Because they did like a 30-minute movie trailer for that one, which was probably the most phenomenal game trailer movie I've ever seen. Well, with the possible exception of the Star Wars ones, those were. I wish they would make a movie from the Star Wars, the Old Republic trailers. They are that good. Let me know if you're watching it so I don't keep talking to you. Swole Tour trailers are really awesome. Yeah, they really, really are. I did see the Deus Ex live action movie, the one where the girl's been, I guess, kidnapped, and she starts out on that, like, I don't know what it was, a torture bed thing, and then the guy comes in, the mechanical guy comes in to save her. That one? That was phenomenal, man. I love that. Want to go see the new movies? The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Definitely. Definitely want to see The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I've seen the posters for The Gift, but I don't know what it is. What is it? And definitely The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Will be good for me. But then again, if you saw my Mission Impossible trailer, you'd know that already. It's the kind of thing I like. Hell, I want to go back and see the old Man from U.N.C.L.E. TV show. The Gift, according to IMDb, a young married couple's lives are thrown into a harrowing tailspin when an acquaintance from the husband's past brings mysterious gifts. I have seen the trailers for that. Not a chance in hell I'm going to go see that one. That is definitely suspense, thriller, scary, what I call a scary movie. No, that will not be going to see that one. I am not a scary movie kind of guy. Yeah, definitely will not be seeing that one. Wow, you like dissimilar types of movies. I am impressed. Eclectic tastes. I have rather eclectic tastes too, but they don't run quite that gamut. So, have you seen the Ghost Recon Future Soldier live action movie? It's like, I think it's like 20 or 30 minutes. Yeah, me and horrifying secrets don't get along. I'm not a horrifying guy. Anything that says horrifying, you've lost me. It's the kind of scary that is more suspenseful and over the top killing or violence. Yeah, yeah, I get you, and I'm cool on that, but I don't like either. No, I can't do that. All right, it's time to get long fingers out again. Where am I? There. Saw about half of it. Oh, so you didn't enjoy it then? Is that why you only saw about half of it? I think I was watching while doing homework, and this I should finish that. Yeah, okay. Said it before, I'll say it again. Real life comes first. I have that motto because when I was 13 years old, back in the late 70s, I found Dungeons and Dragons for the first time, and real life, I did not allow real life to come first, and made some mistakes. That's where I first discovered that I have a slightly compulsive, obsessive personality. Which, to be honest, I believe is a good thing, as long as you understand it. I've said this to people before, and people get mad at me for saying it, but there are a number of jobs that you just couldn't do if you don't have a slightly obsessive compulsive personality. And there's a lot of negative, stigma connotation, negative connotations and stigma associated with that term, obsessive compulsive. But you'll find I don't subscribe to the kinds of politically correct dogma that most people subscribe to. Obsessive compulsive is just a you obsess about things and you're compulsive about things, and it's not necessarily bad, like I said, as long as you understand what's happening. And I've said this before, so I've been in computer design and development for a very long time. I started programming in '79, and I've worked professionally in the software design and development business since '98, I guess. And I believe that the best software developers have some level of obsessive compulsive. I have a hard time focusing on just one thing. I usually am working on a lot of things at once. Yeah, some people can make that work. Certainly allows you to get a lot of things done, in a in a particular time frame. It's always been my contention, though, is that software development is part science and part art. You have to be part artist. In order to get it right, it is really exacting work. It is so easy to make logical mistakes that cause the whole thing to become unuseful. And the compulsive people are the ones that keep at it and keep at it and keep at it until they figure out the right way to do it. I mean, the real genius people just come to it quickly, but most of us aren't that good. We have to work hard to figure it out. And I lost video again. Yay. I'd love to know why it's doing that. It's got to be the internet or the network, because the camera from my side it still shows that it's on, so I don't know what's going on. Gotta go for a few minutes. Okay, I'll see you when you come back. I'll still be here, holding my breath. Oh my God, I don't think I could have held my breath for 5 more minutes. Wow. Welcome back. So I started playing the new Magic the Gathering Duels Origins. And essentially, it's just Magic the Gathering online. Although, from what I can tell, they don't allow you to buy, sell, and trade individual cards, which, I'll be honest, I think is probably a good thing. They still allow you to buy booster packs of cards, same way you would with regular Magic the Gathering, but they take away that secondary economy and just turn it into a slightly more of a social, simple game, which I think is good for the more casual type players. And they actually have a really good system of your rank is just basically how many matches you've won or lost. I think the lowest you can go is 0. And if you win a match, you'll get 1 point. And if you lose a match, you'll lose 1 point by the look of it, which is good. Which means that you're always playing people that are about the same caliber as you. If you're too good, you will go up, and you won't be bothering the people who aren't as good as you. I'm kind of liking that, actually. You can spend real money on it if you want, but you don't have to. It looks it's a lot like Hearthstone. Is it? Like, I mean, it's Magic the Gathering. Like, it's the same old Magic the Gathering that you've always known. Or at least I've always known since '93. I haven't played Hearthstone, so I'm not really sure what Hearthstone is like. I know that there has been a bit of a craze for Hearthstone among a lot of YouTube broadcasters. But I'm not a big-time YouTube broadcaster yet, so I don't have to follow the crazes. Hearthstone is like a simpler version of Magic. Is it? Interesting. I just don't know if I want to get into another one of those games. I'm okay with Magic. I was pretty obsessed with it when I was younger. Trying to use all my cutoffs as much as I can, so I'm not always cutting up new ones and then just throwing away a bunch of good wood. So tell me about Hearthstone. Is it a free-to-play model? Would I incur a cost getting into this of some kind? I have to say, actually, Witcher 3 had a game in it called Gwent. I thoroughly enjoyed. It's like Magic the Gathering Duel's Origin. You can use real money to buy packs, or you can use in-game gold. And can you make in-game gold by playing? Okay, well, that's cool. Who knows? Maybe I'll try it out at some point. Someday when I'm bored and I need a new game. Well, apparently that's going to come out. It is too big. Who would have thunk it? There are daily quests that you complete to get gold. Oh, okay. Well, that's exactly what Duel's Origins is doing, daily quests. Although, I have to say, if I was to review them right now, they're not doing a good job of it. They tell you the base of the door is you take a particular type of deck and you win duels with whatever type of deck they tell you to duel with. And right now, it's not picking up on the fact that you've won with these particular types of decks. And I went and checked out the wiki, and they say it's a known issue. There's that, and then the connectivity issue. Yeah, you were telling me you had a connectivity issue, right? I experienced a little bit of connectivity issues last night. There you go. That can only end well, right? Putting a sharp knife and a hot glue gun in my crotch. Could be wrong with that, right? That won't hurt anything. Maybe that wasn't the smartest idea. Okay, let's go more on that now. That might end terribly. Yes, that might end terribly. A couple of years ago, I made this apron. I had bought this really thick material to make a I made a cover for my father-in-law's toolboxes. He's got a couple of big rolling toolboxes out in his garage, and he wanted a dust cover kind of thing for them. So I made one for him out of some really thick material. And I had some left over, so I took that material and I doubled it, and I made the apron out of it. I do like this, where I don't know if you can see it or not, but I got glue on this. I've got fiberglass on this. I've got Bondo on this. Like, I've got several different types of glue on it. I've dropped hot things on it a lot. It's really saved me a lot. It's the next best thing to a leather apron, really, or a Kevlar apron. That'd be funny. Yay, get it wrong. Get out of there. There we go. You know what? I'm thinking about that gift thing. And here's, I mean, obviously part of my problem is that it's a scary movie. And yes, suspenseful, sure. But I mean, I'm kind of overloading the word scary here. That's part of my problem, absolutely. But so I think, based on what I'm seeing, and again, I could be wrong here, and I'd love your opinion. I'd love to hear your opinion after you see it, to know whether I'm thinking about this right or not. Based on what I've seen in the trailers, I think I've got a pretty good idea about what the movie's about. And based on what I saw in the trailers, it looks to me like Jason Bateman's character did something when he. Oh, you gotta go? Okay. Tell me when you're back, and I'll continue this. If anybody else wants to chat while Ulysses is away, you are all more than welcome to. I would love to talk about things with you. It makes the time go The work goes so much easier when I've got somebody to chat with. I'm a social guy. Kind of like Jerry says, I'm a very social guy. I think most of us are, actually. Which way am I going to go with this? Let's try this. No, that's not going to do it. Well, if I can do a set without cutting, I'm going to do that then. That's the way I'll do it. Interesting. This is going to be hard. All of this inside stuff is going to be hard. Okay. Back again. Okay. What were we talking about? Oh, trailers. Yeah, the trailer for the gift. So, based on what I saw in the trailer for the gift and the way I believe that trailers are made, it looked to me like Jason Bateman's character had done something pretty appalling in his past. And it was either to this guy that that's in the trailer, or it was to someone this guy knew and or loved. And then Jason Bateman's character goes away, he gets married, comes back home, 10, 20, 30 years later, whatever it is. And the story happens from there. The problem that I have with this is it appears from the trailer that when they meet this guy for the first time, Jason Bateman either doesn't remember who he is or doesn't remember the connection that he has with this guy. And I know that it's quite possible that he's faking that he doesn't remember this guy for his wife. But if you had done something extremely terrible to somebody or somebody that they knew, and probably left town because of it, A, why would you ever come back? And then B, if you did come back and you met the person in question, and you know for a fact that that other person's going to remember too. Therefore, when this other person does something retaliatory, I guess, you shouldn't be surprised. That's my thoughts on it. You say you think it looks interesting. Yeah, I'll grant you that. Hey, like I said before, we don't all have to like the same things I like. I'm just giving you my reasoning, talking about my biases. But I would be very interested to know what you think of it after you see it. And I lost video again. Wouldn't it be nice if I lived in a part of the country that, I don't know, let's just say had the largest software development corporation in the world, and they realized that internet bandwidth was important to not only the company, but all of the people that work for the company, and they therefore made an internet connection that worked. Wouldn't that be cool? Not that I'm bitter or anything, but I do believe that Comcast sucks. And who knows, they may be throttling my connection simply because I say things like that. I wouldn't have put it past them. Who needs internet anyways? You wouldn't be able to see my smiling face if we didn't have the internet. No, your screen didn't freeze. I'm just being an asshole. I was watching last night YouTube a bunch of clips from Steve Harvey and Family Feud. And I have to say, Steve Harvey's expressions in Family Feud when people do or say weird things are hilarious. Like, that is a funny, funny man. I was crying. I was laughing so hard. There was one question that he asked. He says, there's two guys up there. One of them's a Marine. And he says, which one of the 7 dwarves would you describe your wife in bed? Both of the guys refused to answer. Both of them, you know, people normally just, you know, go right for the buzzer. Both of them were, no way, not answering that one. I ain't stupid. I like sex. I want to have it more. I think I saw that clip before. It's of just the best Steve Harvey moments on Family Feud. It was just, I was absolutely beside myself the whole time. And then I watched, I think it was the 10 most insane things ever seen on late night television. So, you know, like the Late Show kind of thing. There were, it was David Letterman and who's the new guy on that show? Jimmy Fallon. There was one with Jimmy Fallon on it. And man, some of the stuff that was happening there is live TV, right? Some of the stuff that was happening there was amazing. Drew Barrymore actually flashed her tits at David Letterman. That was interesting. There were a couple where David Letterman was just berating his guest because his guest was being an idiot. There was a clip in there where Andy Kaufman, and if you don't know who Andy Kaufman is, he was a comedian back in the 70s, I'm pretty sure. 70s, maybe 80s. And I'm pretty sure he died. But he was on the day, I think, with Jerry Lawler, the pro wrestler. And Jerry Lawler, I don't know exactly what happened. They didn't really show the lead up to it, but Jerry Lawler stood up and punched Andy Kaufman square in the face. And he fell right off his chair. And then Andy Kaufman comes back and just starts screaming and swearing at, I'm pretty sure, like I said, I'm pretty sure it was Jerry Lawler. It was surreal. There was one where Jimmy Fallon had, I can't remember who the guy was that he had there, but he also had Ivana Trump, lady, short skirt, and whoever the other guy was, I'm pretty sure he was drunk, first of all. He would not keep his hands off of Ivana Trump. And finally, Jimmy actually called in his security team to remove this guy from the stage. He's like an actor, comedian kind of guy. And in the end, Jimmy actually got up and literally hauled this guy off of the stage by his feet, dragging him across the floor. Like, you can't make this stuff up. That's not going to work. Here's the easiest part about all this. You just work from one side, put the things inside, dab a little glue, and you're done. I wish they were all like this part. I also watched a show one time. It was a TV show, and they talked about different professions. It had Lizard Lick Repo on it, and a few other things. And one of them was, if I remember correctly, was a security company, and they chronicled these guys, I guess. I can't remember whether it was guys or a company who did security. And one of the places where they did security was local wrestling, pro wrestling, like pro style wrestling matches. And they showed the entire experience from the security personnel's point of view. And so everybody knows that pro wrestling is fake. And if you don't know, spoiler alert, it's fake. I actually have a good friend, well, not a good friend. Yeah, well, I have a good friend who's very good friends with a former pro wrestler. I've met the guy, and I'm Facebook friends with him, Robert Maillet. He's an actor now, but he used to be a pro wrestler. He used to be the Kurgan. And pro wrestling, I'm telling you here, it's fake. However, that being said, the fact that it's fake has nothing to do with the fact that these guys are extremely big, extremely muscular, and extremely talented in the sporting field. Just because the show, the entertainment show that they're putting on, has a predetermined outcome, do not think for 1 second that any one of these guys is a pushover in any sense of the word. So this show was following the security company, and they're providing security for a local pro wrestling. Yeah, it's fake. And a local pro wrestling circuit. and they're showing idiots in the audience. And as you know, several pro wrestlers, their shtick is that they're bad guys. That's their persona. In general, they're not really bad guys. You know, in the immortal words of Zangief from Wreck-It Ralph, just because you're bad guy does not mean you have to be bad guy. In general, these guys are actually quite nice people. Rob is an absolute sweetheart. And they're showing these fans, especially with the bad guy characters. That's interesting. They're showing these fans actually arguing with these guys. Now, the character that this guy is playing is going to argue with you. He's going to call you names. There is nothing else that he can do when somebody starts something like this. I mean, a lot of times he'll start it even, because that's his character, and he is on stage when it's happening, and that's how he makes his living. If he does anything else than what the fans expect, he loses fans. So don't ever get into any kind of a verbal sparring match with a pro wrestler on stage, because he's not allowed to back down. He can't back down. If he backs down, he loses his livelihood, right? If his fans see him as anything other than the character that he's portraying, he loses his fans. So that's exactly what happened. This guy, this pro wrestler, gets up on stage and he's doing his act, and some fan gets too much into it and decides he's got to say something to this pro wrestler. So he does. He yells some sort of obscenity or something at this pro wrestler in front of, you know, however many hundreds of fans were in the arena and on the TV that was covering this whole thing. And at that point, the pro wrestler has no choice. He has to respond. And then the fan responds, and then the pro wrestler responds, and it just escalates. And as far as the pro wrestler is concerned, that's all part of the act. The fan, not so much. The fan cannot separate fantasy from reality. So you can see this happening. The fan is just getting angrier and angrier, and starts telling this pro wrestler that he wants to fight him, like legitimately fight him. Now, this fan is not a small guy, but he's also nowhere near the size of the pro wrestler. And I don't know much about the fan, but unless he's a professional fighter, he's nowhere near the ability of the pro wrestler either. So eventually, the guy gets so heated that security's got to escort him out. And they do. Now, if you had half of a brain, that would be the end of it. You'd say to yourself, okay, I took it too far. I'll go home now, and that'll be the end of it. This guy didn't have half a brain. This guy waits until the end of the night, until the pro wrestler is done. And security tells the wrestler this guy's out there. So the wrestler actually waits like an hour extra, hoping that this guy will get bored and go home. He doesn't. This guy's a moron. So finally, now the wrestler is not on stage anymore, right? He's not in character. He doesn't have to respond anymore. He doesn't want to respond anymore. The fan, he's still in character because he's a freaking idiot. That is his character. So the wrestler finally has to come out. And he does. And immediately the fan is all over him again. The camera is watching this whole thing, and you can see the size difference between these two guys. Like, the fan is a moron for going after this guy. And the pro wrestler now, like I said, not on stage anymore, completely different demeanor, does not want to fight this guy, just wants to get the hell out of there. The fan keeps going and going and going, and finally he takes a swing at the wrestler. I don't. It was an A&E. The question was, a security company. The same show, like I said, the same show is where the Lizard Lick repo company started out, and there was another, again, on the same show, it's where they were showing guys who deliver court summonses for a living. If anybody remembers what the name of that show was, please put it in the comments. So finally, this idiot fan takes a swing at the pro wrestler. And it was like slow motion. The wrestler sees it coming. And yes, I know my video's out again. I don't know. I'm kind of resigned to that now. The wrestler sees it coming, steps back, avoids it, and then instinctively smacks the guy. And he went down like a ton of bricks. Like, I mean, it was exactly like you would have expected it would have gone. Like, why this idiot didn't know it was going to happen, I don't know. Holy crap, the video is still out. Is you guys have video, or is it just me? I'm going to refresh my screen here, see what's going on. Yeah, video's still going out. Video is still out. Why is my video out? Okay, we're back. I have no idea what happened there. For some reason, everything just froze on me. Now I'm just waiting to see if the video comes back up. It's interesting because when I go into the Google Hangout, it shows the full video. I wonder if I can. I'd love to suppress that. Can you still hear me, Ulysses? There we go. So you're back. So that was my long-winded way of saying, if a guy looks dangerous, he probably is. And I don't think I had any point to that whole statement other than that. And I don't even know why I started the conversation in the first place. I realize I have no clue what I was saying or why. First time I met Rob Maillet, again through my buddy Richard, was actually the first time I met Ray Park too, and first time I met what the hell's his name? Oh, yay! Video's gone again. I've got to be being throttled. That's the only thing I can think of. Jake Lloyd. I met Jake Lloyd at the same time too. Jake has since become a very good friend. Jake and I, well, used to play games on the internet a lot until he got himself into trouble. I haven't heard from him in months now. Yeah, so we were at this science fiction convention in Toronto, and I've got a picture of Rob Maillet and Peter Mayhew, and I can't remember the guy's name. He's the guy that played the Predator in the Alien versus Predator movies. And so Rob is 7 feet tall. 7 feet. Peter, another great guy, by the way. Had dinner with him several times, driven him around several times. He and his wife, Angie, really cool couple. Peter is 7'2". The guy who played Predator, I think, is 7'6". So when you look at the picture, if you don't have any context, it just looks like 3 regular guys. And Rob said it's the first picture he's ever been in his entire life where he's the shortest guy in the picture. So that was the weekend where I also met Ray Park, actually, and I played Darth Maul for Ray for 2 days, and got to hang out with him, got to chat with him. Another very, very, very cool guy. What the hell? Why are they giant? Just big guys. I don't know. Like, I mean, I met the guy. I met the guy there who plays Predator. I don't really know him. Haven't really ever talked to him outside of that. But Peter and Robert are the sweetest guys you ever want to meet. I don't know if it's indicative of the big guys or just them. So yeah, Ray and I were chatting, and I'm a martial artist, and so is he. I think he does mostly kung fu. I think he does some other stuff, but primarily kung fu. Whereas I'm more into the karate, hapkido. So we're chatting about that. And actually, this is funny. This is how we got chatting about it. He wanted to take a picture with me. My Darth Maul is pretty good. And so, and actually, I think, yeah, that's the picture, actually. My thumbnail is that the picture of me and Ray. And we go to take the picture, and I get down into my Darth Maul stance, right? And he looks over, and he was getting into a stance too, and he looks over at me and he says, "Your stance is better than mine," and he goes lower. And then I tried to go lower. And Kung Fu is a much more flexible art than the arts that I practice, so I'm not as flexible as he is. So eventually he won. But it was funny to see him do that. And that then opened up the door for conversations for us about our martial arts. And here we are. That picture was taken in his booth. And we're standing there talking about our different art forms. And his, I don't know, business manager, handler, whatever it was, is there too. And there's a lineup of like 100 people wanting autographs. And his business manager is like staring daggers at me, first of all. And she turns to him and says, "Ray, you've got people waiting." And he looks at her and he says, "No, no, 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 it's okay, it's okay. We're talking about sports." And it was like a kid in a candy store. It was hilarious. I love people with that kind of enthusiasm. And I think I've put the video up on YouTube where Ray is saying that one of the best looking moles. Because Ray and I actually, so I'm a little bit overweight now, and I was a little bit overweight then. I kind of went down and up since then. I was overweight there, and I went down to 170 shortly thereafter, and then I went back up. But aside from that fact, Ray and I are actually the same height and approximately the same build. I mean, he works out a lot more than I do now, so he's more muscular than I am. But our frames are the same, like across the shoulders, across the chest, except for the fact that he's more muscular than I am. Our frames are the same. So I'm very close to looking like him when I do my maul. Apparently, I picked wisely. You wisely. Oh yeah, and that's interesting. That's where I met Jake too. So Jake tells a different story than I do. He remembers different parts than I do. I was, well, I mean, I remember the same parts too, but I was, so Ray and Jake had booths side by side, and I'm there playing posable furniture for Ray, essentially, for Arc Mall. So basically, when people come up to get a picture with Ray Park, I'm standing behind him. He's sitting down. I'm standing behind him, and I am in character. So when I'm playing any character, I try very hard to stay in character. So Darth Maul is a very severe, one might even say vicious character. So I'm, very, very stoic, very stone-faced, basically standing there, arms folded, trying to look menacing kind of thing. And Jake took that as a bit of a challenge. So he spent hours trying to crack me up. And I think at one point he, because like I said, I was overweight at the time. I think he called me Darth Maul Santa Claus at one point, and I nearly fell over laughing. And that's the story Jake tells. It wasn't, I mean, he's a nice enough guy, and that was cool and it was funny and all, but it wasn't really until that night. So I'm part of the 501st Legion, and we have a party at every one of these things. And because Jake is Star Wars, invited him. That's how I get to meet most of these Star Wars celebrities, is at the 501st parties. And I sat down and I started talking with Jake, and I have my own biases. So I started talking about the things I like. He started talking about things he liked. Both of us actually watch. So first of all, both of us were big gamers. I didn't know that about him until I met him. And both of us watched several of the same YouTubers, including Total Biscuit and Husky Starcraft. And I was big into watching the sports casting of Starcraft back then. I still kind of am, to be honest. I really still enjoy esports and Starcraft specifically. So that got us talking. And we exchanged contact information, and we started playing games together. I think the first game we ever played together, it was either Diablo or it was Magicka. Might have been Magicka. And then we played some Dota. And then Star Wars The Old Republic came out. And when I first started playing Star Wars The Old Republic online, I started playing with Jake. But Jake really enjoys PvP. So he joined a PvP server, and I joined the same server with him. We started up a guild together, and I stayed on that server. I had like 5 or 6 characters, and I stayed on that server till about level 35-ish. Have you gone to Tatooine yet? Have you had a character high enough to go to Tatooine yet? And now I'll wait for your response. This is me waiting. So Tatooine, it'll come differently depending on which side you're on. Different level depending on which side you're on. Can't remember. I think I was Republic at the time. Pretty sure I was Republic at the time. And I went there in like my late 20s, early 30s, I think. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Republic, yeah. And there was this quest where we had to go out into the, I think it was the Jundland Wastes. But basically, it's the halfway point. I think, pretty sure Tatooine is the first planet, if you're Republic. Actually, I think it might even be the first planet on both sides, where you you actually get on the same planet with the opposite faction. Pretty sure it is. Or if it isn't, I was able to avoid it on the other ones. So I went to Tatooine, and there was this quest that I had to do, as part of your progression quests. I had to do out in the Jundland Wastes. And there were a group of players from the opposite faction who were sitting in front of the, and now both sides have to go to this place to do this quest. And there were a group of opposite side players who were just sitting in front of the dungeon, doing absolutely nothing but killing the people from the opposite faction as they got there. And that was it. I quit playing PvP that day. I just could not stand that. That is not fun to me. And it's really unfortunate because, Jake and I and the rest of the guys, we had a guild called the Pumpkin Pact. We were having a good time. It's nice to play with friends. But some idiot, bunch of idiots, had to come along and ruin it. So that is one of the myriad of reasons why I don't like playing PvP. Hey, listen, by the way, if you ever want a hand with anything or just want to play, let me know. Like I said, big gamer, like gaming. Yeah, they are a-holes, but that is common, extremely common in on PvP servers. In fact, so common that there's a name for them. They're called griefs. These are people who get their enjoyment of the game out of causing other players grief. And that's just not my idea of fun. So theoretically, I've still got those characters on whatever server that it was on, or whatever server it's moved to since then, since they did a bunch of server consolidations. Which, by the way, I warned them about when I was in the beta. I was in the Star Wars The Old Republic beta program. And I realized at the time, I went on one of the beta weekends. Yeah, absolutely. Let me know. On one of the beta weekends, I took a commando, Republic commando, from 0 to level 20 in 2 days. And at the time, max level was 50. And I told them right then and there, I said, if I can go from 0 to 20 in 2 days, you know, I can easily go from 0 to 50 in a month. And if you allow people to go from 0 to 50 in 1 month, they will believe that they've beaten the game, get bored of it, and leave. And once people leave a game, it is extremely difficult to get them back. And while it is small comfort, that's exactly what happened. The game came out, and I don't know how many millions of people or how many people exactly that they had, but there were, God, at the height, I think like 50 servers, and the servers were always full. And that was, you know, within the first month, 2 months kind of thing. Shortly thereafter, population on the servers dropped to practically nothing. Like around the month, 2 month mark, it started dropping, and it just dropped steadily to the point where they had to start the server merges just in order to get population back, because let's face it, the game is not as fun to play if there's nobody to play it with. Biggest part of that game is playing it with other people. So much so now that I think all total, there's like 6 servers, something like that. And again, I still don't know what the population on each one of the servers are. But it's certainly nothing compared to the heyday of, I don't know, 30, 50 servers, whatever it was, always full. And if they had just listened to me, gosh darn it, That was back when they were still 100% subscription based. I've attended 2 of the Star Wars: The Old Republic community parties now. One here at is it PAX East, or sorry, PAX Prime last year. Pretty sure it's PAX Prime here. And then another one at Star Wars Celebration. And the devs have made no, everyone has made no bones about this. Now that they've gone free to play, they're making significantly more money off of it. Just the free to play model. Did I tell you I lost a pair of glasses last night? Kind of a funny story. Well, sort of, all around. Until I started working at Microsoft, I never needed glasses. And it was shortly after, or as I was coming down here, I realized my eyesight was not what it used to be. So shortly after we got here, I went, had my eyes checked, and got a pair of glasses, reading glasses. And Microsoft has a really good medical plan. It's Primera is the company that they use. Come on. And because of that, the checkup and the eyeglasses themselves were covered by the insurance. So I didn't really pay attention to it until I realized that the glasses that I had chosen were $750. Oh, Brody's here. Come here, Brody. Come on.
Oh, hot glue gun.
Yeah. Get rid of the hot glue gun.
Brody, go say hi to Ross.
Come here,
Go
Brody.
say hi to Ross. Give the high glue for this time.
Oh, no. Too many things. Hi, buddy. Here, we'll take the glasses off.
Is it better without the glasses? Is it better without the glasses?
What's that?
Can you guys see Brody?
Here, go back with the hat.
Come
Brody,
here, come here. No.
Brody. Oh.
He's he's got to know that there's a camera there.
Oh,
That's what it is. He's camera shy.
Go see Ross. He likes Vicky.
Nah, that's okay. That's okay.
Actually, he wants to know where Stella is.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's all about Stella. Jason, look at
What?
He's wagging his tail.
He's wagging his tail
Oh.
and he wants in to see
Oh, he wants Stella. Yeah.
Jason was saying the other day, they walk around here and Brody's kind of right to your door.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We can see Brody on camera.
Yeah, so just kind of crazy. I'm gonna get with some of the others, like, yeah. And so that's why I'm kind of like really staying away from that relationship.
So I've got these glasses now, and I need them to read. So I take them to work, and I don't think I had them for a month when I'm at a meeting in another building, not my regular building. And I come home, And I get up the next morning and I can't find my glasses. I had left them in the conference room in the other building. $700+ glasses. I am panicking. And I have a reputation for being hard on glasses, for breaking glasses, for losing glasses. So it comes as really no surprise whatsoever that I've done this. But I've never owned $750 pair of glasses before. So the next day, and luckily somebody had found them and turned them in to the receptionist. So I got them back. But I vowed that I would never take that chance again. So I went out to the local grocery store and I bought for 10 or 9 bucks each. Oops, that's too far. I bought 5 different pairs of these glasses right here. So last night, when we were watching Minions, well, we went out to eat, and I know I had my glasses when I paid the check from eating, and we just walked across the street and into the movie theater. And by the time we got into our seats at the movie theater, I had lost my glasses. Don't know where they are. After the movie, we went back to P.F. Chang's, which is where we had dinner. And I asked if anybody had found them, and no one had found them. No one turned them in. But luckily, they were only a $10 pair of crappy glasses. Which is exactly why I bought a $10 pair of crappy glasses. My $700 glasses sit on my bedside table and do not leave. I use them at night when I'm reading in bed or playing games on my phone in bed. Wow, did I ever seriously underestimate the amount of work necessary to get this done? I mean, I knew it'd be a lot of work, but it's the sheeting of the walls, I guess, that I really underestimated. I suppose I can do the outside of this one. Hey.
there plastic, white plastic from on the table?
Oh, that's actually a stormtrooper piece that Jerry 3D printed. It's for I think that's what it's for.
Doesn't look normal to me.
Well, it's F7.
All right. Nothing looks normal. Then
Yeah.
Not used to seeing it.
Yeah, so we're just using it to test a few things. Speaking of which, I need to actually text Jerry and find out when he's coming over.
What's wrong with your thing?
Nothing. This is my new holder so that I can take selfie videos and not ruin them. Specifically to hold the camera. That's why the foam padding there.
I'll be upstairs.
Okay. Time for me to head out. Good evening. Keep up the good work. Thanks for coming by, man.
I'm gonna probably take a shower before we go because I'm all sweaty from our 8-mile walk.
Oh, it's 3:15. What time do we have to be there?
7.
Okay. And we're gonna want to eat beforehand. Somewhere.
Well, we have leftovers.
Okay.
We can have some anyway. I just don't. The food there.
Yeah, we can have leftovers upstairs if you want. Just figure out when you want to go.
Okay.
We're going out with the 501st tonight. We're going to meet at a local hangout here and just kind of have a meet and greet kind of thing. Jerry, when are we doing your storm? Super. If I don't keep poking Jerry, he won't remember. So now that Ulysses is left, someone else is going to take up the slack. Come on, people, we need you. Looking good. I like it. I do not want to do further than there right now, actually, because I need to do that stuff first. Haha, caught myself, did a better job. here's a question. Can I get that in there? Arg. Ooh. No, screw that up. Back there. So now you're just going to sit here and watch me hold this till it dries. Yay! Then what I might do is actually I might sheet that top to bottom and put it back on once I get this part done, because then I won't need to get here anymore either. Does make it a lot easier getting in here without that there. What the heck is falling there? Something just fell. Remember that big box? Remember how many popsicle sticks we had cut in here? We're down to like the bottom third now. For some reason, I have no idea why, I have the song Take the Money and Run stuck in my head. I think I heard it on the radio yesterday or the day before, but why it would stick in my head now, I have no idea. So I'm almost out of glue on this side, but having a short glue stick in here right now is kind of desirable. Ludwig, hey buddy, how you doing? I have no idea what it is about my channel, but I only ever get one person wanting to talk at a time. Ulysses just left, and now you come on. So what are you up to, Ludwig? You missed a whole bunch. I was showing off my new DIY selfie stick. Have you, Ludwig, have you watched any of my Totally Biased reviews? So I doing pretty good. Today was painting day here at home. I did the living room and apartment. That's cool. I can do the painting and stuff, but I find it a little bit difficult. I asked that for a reason. Honest to God, I had a reason that I asked that. There was something that I was going somewhere. Oh, you're right. Yeah, I know why. So you saw the first totally biased review, the one where I hit the zoom on the camera and you were looking up everybody's nose for 3 minutes. Well, will you be introducing your selfie stick for those videos? Absolutely, I will. In fact, I'll show you it here. Look. Ta-da! This is your DIY stuff. So I was telling people before, this is the camera that I use for doing my. Except, I mean, we've got the video, the webcam up there. It's plugged into the laptop, and so in order to avoid another incident where I actually I want to do it on this side. In order to avoid another incident where I accidentally zoom the camera in, I took this old clamp from Harbor Freight that doesn't really clamp well, and I velcroed this so it wouldn't flop out anymore. And now I've got I can just hold it like this, and my arm is lower, which means that it'll stay out of the shot better. And now I'm not touching the back of the screen and screwing things up. So I think that I'm a bit of a genius. Also makes it a little bit heavier, so hopefully it will help with a minor shaking. To be honest, I'm probably not going to be on too much longer today. I should. Oh, did I do? Oh, I can fix that. That's not a problem. And I will likely be on tomorrow around noon. But I have to Skype with the in-laws at 4 o'clock tomorrow, and then we're meeting some friends for supper after that. So I don't know, maybe noon to 2, 3 at the latest tomorrow. But I need this extra time in order to get the footage of the sheathing, because the sheathing is taking so much longer than I had expected. Oh yeah, that didn't work at all. And that didn't work at all either. Oh well. Let that go there. Now, here's the next question. No, that's not going to work. So I'll just finish this all the way up. Ah, the in-laws, yeah. Not bad. This could build good posture also. Yeah. Turn me into a better person. Actually, yesterday at work, I had to run, I don't know, I'd say a total of maybe 300 yards. And so I don't know if I must have told you guys this before. I'm ex-military. And I used to run 10 miles a day. Not because I wanted to, but because I had to. And not anymore. I am so freaking out of shape now. It's amazing. And now on the hunt for a clone trooper to seek and build. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost certain Anovos Productions will have a clone trooper to sell. I'm almost certain. Otherwise, there are definitely people on eBay that sell clone troopers, but I don't know that I would trust them. Kind of my problem. And we've lost video again. Yay! Frig. Other than that, the 501st are the only people that I would really trust for that kind of thing. And you can't get access to a 501st armorer unless you're actually in the 501st, unfortunately. So if you want to go that route, you're going to have to join. What is the website for Anovos? Just search for ANOVOS Productions, I believe. They're the company that did the episode 7 kits. For Star Wars Celebration, and they came out quite well. And they do a bunch of licensed costumes, and they're, you know, so far from what I've seen of them, they're pretty good. They also appear to be a real company, which means your money's probably safer with them. I've been talking to a few people from the Clone Troopers forums to see what they would suggest as able to pass 501st standards. If you go to www.501st.com, there is and it should have pictures of and specific instructions on what is passable and what is not for the 501st. Yeah, in general, the Clone Trooper forum's a pretty good resource too. Just go by what you see on the 501st boards, though. It'll be your real source of truth. now I just have to space myself out to buying everything with time. Yeah, that is a common problem. There are so many things that I want, and I'd love to buy them all at the same time, but you just can't. Dummy. I keep doing the wrong side first. And I lost video again. I'm fairly certain Comcast does not like me live streaming. That is the only thing I can think of. And it's still out. Yay. Quick question. How would you give a costume a worn and battle damaged look? Yeah, unfortunately, there's no quick answer to that. Can you still hear me, by the way, even though you can't see me? I'm just going to try refreshing this and see if it comes back. No. I don't know what's going on. The Google Live. Oh, look, we have viewers in the Google Live, too. That's interesting. The Google Live is still playing. Why it's not broadcasting, I don't know. Okay, so as long as you can still hear me, I'll still talk for a little while. I don't know what's going on with the video. So there is, like I said, there's no easy answer to how you weather and battle damage it. There's several techniques that you can use. One of the techniques, and probably the easiest technique, is you use multiple layers of paint. You will paint your lowest layer, your first layer, whatever you want the under coating of your suit to look like. If you want it to, you know, like let's just say you got hit by a bullet and scratched off some paint. What do you want people to see as the underside of that suit? Is it metal? Is it something else? And then what you do is you paint that on complete, and then you paint on whatever your top coat is. In this case, it'd be white. Or maybe even you put some black in between. And then wherever you want your battle damage to be, you either sand it off or you scrape it off. You know, you hit it with stuff. That happens. The guys do that all the time. That's one method. Another method that a lot of guys will use is there are commercial products available for this, but you can also just use like Vaseline. Is before you actually paint your top coat on, you actually either paint on a little bit of latex rubber or Vaseline or something else, something that paint won't stick to, essentially, in the patterns that you want your battle damage to look like. And then you spray paint over top of the whole thing, and then you go back, and the places where you wanted your battle damage to be, where you've got the Vaseline or latex rubber or whatever commercially available thing that you want to do for this, you just take it off, and the paint will come off with it, obviously. The third way to do it is simply just to paint your final coat, you know, whatever color it is that you want it to be, and then specifically paint the damage in whatever color you want it to be as damage, totally separately from the rest of the piece. And those are the most common ways of doing that. And then there are other people that literally just started out as a plain white trooper and just let it wear on its own. That's what I did with my first clone trooper. Yeah, mostly white. I would do some scorch marks as if I've been hit by blasters. Yeah, probably the easiest way to do that is to just paint it on separately as its own scorch mark. I actually saw a clone trooper in Florida. I can't remember how many years ago. Celebration 5, I think it was. Who took a Yoda lightsaber, and he actually cut it down and stuck it, so half of it in the front in his chest armor and half of it in coming out of his back armor, so that it appeared as if Yoda had impaled him with his lightsaber. It was actually quite cool. Would you glossy or matte paint? I would glossy paint, actually, for Clone Trooper, because Clone Troopers are supposed to be in what's called plasteel armor, which is basically just a made-up way of saying that when they originally created stormtroopers, they used plastic, and it looked like plastic, and they had to find a way to make it people think that it was real armor, so they called it plasteel armor. But all that is a long way to say it looks like plastic, and plastic is shiny. The original stormtrooper suits were shiny. So glossy is the way to go. Wow, they must have really throttled my internet back or something. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to cycle the camera off and on just to see if that does something. So I'm going to turn off the camera for a second. For those of you in the Google Hangout, you're going to lose camera for a second, so I'll be right back. Now, you should still have my voice. There we go. Camera is back on. Now, let's see. I don't know how long it would take for that YouTube to come back. I like the ease with which I can get on live streaming, but I don't know what's causing these problems. And if it's the Google Hangout or if it's the live stream software they use, then I won't be a happy camper. All right, well, it's after 4 o'clock here. So, and we're obviously having video troubles. I have no idea why, and I don't know how to fix them. So I think I am going to end the stream for now. Sorry, Ludwig. I'd love to stay more, but I don't know what the heck is going on here. Might have to start monitoring my bandwidth and see what the hell is going on. So, thank you for coming out. Thanks for talking to me. I'm sorry I've got to leave early like this, but I'll tell you what. I'm going to be back on tomorrow around noon Pacific time. which is 4 hours. That's 4 o'clock Pacific time right now. So 4 hours before this. So I'll be on around noon Pacific time tomorrow. If you want to come back tomorrow, ask me all of your questions, and I might even see if I can't dig out some of my clone trooper armor to show you. It's old, it's beat up, but it's still there. Actually, I've got 3 or 4 different sets. I don't know what I'll be able to find. I think I've got a couple up near the front up there. Anyway, so thanks for coming out. Try and join me tomorrow, and I'll try and answer the rest of your questions. If you can't join me tomorrow, I will definitely be back Tuesday night at 6 o'clock Eastern, okay? So thank you very much, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow. Bye.